Welcome to the lab where genetics collide. Reptiles everywhere with colors amplify. The morph so wild, they'll twist your mind. Patterns like art, every scale is defined. In the reptile world, we're raising the bar. Discover new genes, then combining them all. Creative foundations that make our brains shake. Insane combos that hit like an earthquake. Genetic canvas. Paint the dream. Paint the dream where reptiles glow and the visions gleam. Tune in now, let's raise the ceiling. The best reptile podcast starts in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Genetic Canvas. I'm Jared with Gem Exotics, and this week we are starting our new series, which is the Breeder Blueprint. And in this series, we're going to take a focused collection dive into the genetics of various breeders to really get inside of their heads and see where their project started, what kind of troubles they had along the way, what kind of pivotal points they had along the way, the successes they had, look at the animals that they've produced, animals that they still keep that they started with, and of course, what they're doing now. So it's going to be an incredible dive into many different vast collections, and with all the different possibilities out there, we're going to see a lot of different things, and we're going to learn tons of different gems of knowledge from all the different ways of doing things. You know, we all have our own ways, and it's going to be awesome to really dive in and ask these questions that may not get answered all the time in a focused way. So let's go ahead and show you guys what happened here last week, because we were featuring the neon mutation with Cue Ball Morphs right here, one of the sponsors of the channel, and it was a great episode. So let's go ahead and roll that for
So
you.
one is neon fire and the other one's just a fire. You can see the difference between, yeah.
So obviously the one on the right is gonna be just the fire.
Yeah.
And the one on the left is the neon fire, because you can see the pattern arrangement, the pattern management of the neon. It gives it more contrast. It
And the more
lessens
contrast,
that
the
red.
color is so night and day. I mean, really, they kind of are.
It's pretty cool. It's got a little skull on it.
This is the Pastel Mojave. This is just a regular one. This is actually one of the best examples I could find as far as color and contrast and busyness goes. And then I just wanted to contrast that against the neon Pastave, which is this animal here. And that's incredible. And you can really see how that compares to the last animal you just showed us. Look at that.
Wow.
The color is amazing. The craziness of the pattern on the left one. I like the right one's pattern personally more, but I love how busy it is and crazy it is on the left one too. What's the differences here?
I think yellow belly is, they're dope, man. I don't know, man. It's just, they're so gorgeous. I mean, you're right. Just the pattern, and then they're just so different. And that's what I like about it. It's just, you know, there's so many difference about him. You know what I mean? It's like, look at that, night and day right there. Just, oh my God.
So if you are unfamiliar with the neon mutation, we definitely dove into it, asked a lot of questions last week with Wayne, and he showed us exactly what it was. There was a neon yellow belly, which was the most surprising for me, because seeing it more in that simple form and seeing what it really does to pattern was interesting the most. Because neon, you think it's a brightening gene, but overall it's actually somewhat of a darker mutation that adds a lot of highlights, and that's where the neon, I think, comes from in the name. So go back and check that out. The animal before the Pastave was very interesting as well, so you don't want to miss that. When you do go back, comment #ReplayGang so that we know you were there. And if you do want to co-host a future episode, whether it's a regular Morph episode or a Breeder Blueprint, just comment #seat taken, and we'll get that banner running across the screen so you all don't forget. But everybody that's here joining us live, make sure you guys are liking, sharing it out, and subscribing, hitting that notification bell so that we can see you every single week and shout you guys out, because you get a little bonus here on the channel, getting a little shout out. And we like to say hi to all our friends and all the newcomers to the channel. So let's go ahead and just run through everybody real quick. We got Vance Blue Zombie Morphs up first. He was the co-host last week, so if you go back and watch that episode, you'll see him. Shout out to him. Check out his Instagram and socials. We got James Perry in the house, Proxima Reptilis in the building, Mike and Melissa, Tara at Voodoo Doll Royals, Dickie Foster in the house. We got TJ at TJ Hutch Exotics, that's Jen. We got Arctic Morphs in the house, that's a newer name. Appreciate you coming out to watch. Lowe's Exotics, Dwight the Pie Man, Dragon Ball Python, another new name in the house. Appreciate you. Unlocked Morphs, that's Nick if you don't know. David at Join Reptiles, Low Life Exotics in the building. Mike Duval in the house. Appreciate you all saying what's up. We got Alan and Tiffany at Dambala Exotics. Appreciate you guys. Let's see who else. We got tons of comments. We appreciate you all coming out here live with us. Warrior Garden Exotics, how's it going tonight? Tire God Morphs, that's Jamie. Check it out. They just received a package from us this week, and we got some more going out to some other customers coming up this week. So a few animals still available. Reach out if you're interested. Chris at 319 Reptiles. We got Josh Morphic Exotics in the house. We appreciate everybody coming out. Make sure you guys are sharing, hitting that like button, and subscribing, of course. I'll go back, turn you all blue after the episode if you guys are new, so that you can share out your links in the chats and become a better community, a bigger community. So normally we would have a guest host and I would get some Q&A going on, but today it is the Breeder Blueprint and we are going to dive in. It's kind of a reinvention of the sponsor showcase, because I want to branch out after we get through the sponsors, which I think this may be one more I think we have to do, and then we're going to start branching out into a lot of different breeders collections. So I will be reaching out, and if you are interested in being showcased, feel free to just send me a message on Instagram at Gem Exotics, and I'll put you in the lineup for sure. We'll take a dive into your collection. So tonight we are hosting another one of our sponsors. We appreciate him very much for coming on recently to the show and supporting us. Let's go ahead and welcome Clayton at Sculpted Exotics. How's it going, man? You might be muted. You might be muted. Oh, I don't know. Must just be me. Hopefully everybody else can hear you. Let's see what we got in the comments. Let us know if we got good audio, chat. We were a little late starting tonight. We had some audio issues and I was uploading some things last minute there. But let's just get some thumbs up in the chat. Everything's good on the audio, and get Clayton back in here. Can't hear. Okay. Confused.
Awesome.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep. Are we good now?
All right. I think we're good now. Can we get some thumbs up in the chat?
Okay. Sorry, people were calling me left and right, so I think it messed with the audio.
All right. Sounds like we're good. Got some sounds good. Wayne Rivera in the house. Brandon Peace and Pets in the house. All right. We're back on track. Sorry about that little hiccup. If y'all had it or if it was just us, we don't really know on live stream. So we appreciate everybody having their patience. So Thank you for joining us tonight, Clayton.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Excited.
Definitely excited. So tell us a little bit about the move, because I know you are kind of scrambling to get back and get set up. This
Yeah.
move is a growth move.
Oh, it's definitely a growth move. So I'm extremely blessed, super fortunate. We found an amazing deal at a to the perfect time where I was able to snag myself a house. So I'm very lucky to say at 20 I'm able to move into my first house, which
Heck
I'm
yeah.
crazy ecstatic about. So just
That's
the
awesome, man.
massive
Congrats.
transition from getting everything from that house over here. Thank you as well. I appreciate that. But it's just been a lot of work, a lot of man hours for this.
Yeah, and it's one of the questions we'll hit later on, but we'll ask now. How big is your collection exactly, like numbers wise?
About 300 animals. It kind of rotates as clutches comes, and I sell things.
Yeah, but racks for like what you're moving is about 300 animals.
Yeah, in total, and about like 120 breeder females, like 60 males, something like that. Stuff that's growing up. Mm.
Got some congratulations in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you all. It
Yeah,
means
that's
a
a great
ton.
accomplishment, man. It really is. I wish I could say I had a house that young. I'm working on, say, owning one myself, but everybody is,
I haven't bought it outright. I'm not. I haven't. I'm not that big balling. This is a
no,
rent to
but
lease
even when
type
you buy a
thing, or
house,
a
you
lease
make a
to own.
mortgage,
But yeah,
payments and stuff. So, but yeah, it's a crazy time, and just to go off topic a bit, it's really like going into the time to like get a house and be an owner of something that is an asset nowadays like that, because it's just getting so expensive that it's soon to be more difficult to achieve. So good on you, and that's awesome, man.
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's gonna like up front. It was definitely quite a big bit of cost, but in the long run, it's gonna save me a ton. I'm gonna be able to get a new rat shed, and I'm gonna have my rodent guys move into that, and they're gonna start selling all over the place. They can start producing like 10,000 rodents easy, because that was something that was
Heck
holding them back,
yeah.
was just space, right? So I can now provide them with the space to grow, and then that'll in turn help me, and it's just gonna be a whole cycle. So I'm excited.
Awesome, man. I did forget one thing. You got any shout outs that you want to do tonight?
Pokemorphs, he's always picking up some of the craziest animals. He's starting to produce some pretty cool stuff. And then Keaton, the homie Hook'em Royals, he's producing a ton lately. I mean, he probably had like 24 eggs drop in the past week. So it's been insane. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Shout out to Keaton. I actually got animals from both y'all that one same week.
I
So both
saw
of those
that.
snakes
Yeah.
are doing good. Yeah, I actually took some photos of them for the book, because John Barry, shout out to John Barry. He's putting together the third edition of like the complete morph guide for ball pythons. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's an awesome book that's gonna be published. Definitely get your hands on that and get on the pre-order list. But yep, we got some comments about Poke. Poke is awesome. I've talked to them a few times. Have to definitely get to know him better though.
Yeah, Eric's a good dude. He's an up and comer for sure. Another thing too is the feeder factory. Keaton's opening up a massive essentially rodent feed for that he can ship, and he's getting a van so he can deliver live just across state.
Nice.
So
Oh, really? Across state lines and everything, huh?
he's going big
Big.
balling on it. Yep.
Yeah, that's big.
All in.
Oh man, that could actually, eventually be like more of a franchise type thing.
That's what he's working towards.
Yeah, that's crazy good. I can't wait. I mean, I know a little bit about it. I was excited about the price list. That was definitely something. So is your rat production gonna go into helping with all
I
that,
mean,
or
I
is
can't
that
help
just
right now.
yours?
You got
How long do I have to wait to unload the fucking?
no, I'm on a live stream right now.
How long?
I don't know, like an hour or so.
An hour?
Yeah.
3 hours?
So real quick while he's getting
Look,
taken.
Sorry about that. Oh my
No, you're
goodness.
good.
It's stresses of moving houses. Like
Yeah,
I
for
said,
sure. No,
we
no
were rushing
worries.
over to get onto the live stream and whatnot, so just family
Yeah.
stressed out. So
They're expecting to walk in and you're unpacking snakes and you're like, I'm on a live stream.
exactly.
But so let's dive into it. Oh, that's what I was saying. Was your rat collection production just for you, or is that gonna go into like a partnership at all?
Yeah, so that'll be a partnership. He'll start selling all across the state and stuff. Keaton's actually going to be taking him over and using him as like a manager of this facility. So this will be
Heck
his
yeah.
breakaway into Arizona as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into your background and your collection. So, what was the first morph that caught your eye?
Easily bamboo. I
Bamboo,
mean, it
okay.
just holds a place in my heart. They're so visually stunning for its single gene. It's super impressive. I find them more appealing than a pot. So
Okay.
that's what caught my
And I
eye.
do like the bamboo. I'm actually making another song right now that has bamboo in it. So
Oh, that's what's up.
yeah, so wait for that to drop. It's gonna be fun. It's a fun little project. I like making these songs and stuff. I write them and then I really remaster them until I get it how I want it, you know? So with that being said, the bamboo being your favorite, what was your first morph purchased?
Uh, for a specific project, definitely Sunset. I
Well,
invested
what
into
was your
Sunset
first
back
ball
in
python?
2023. Oh, first of all, Python.
Yeah.
It was a Het Pied, I think
Oh,
is what it
okay.
was. Yeah,
Wow.
that
And
was
when
back
you
in
bought that,
22.
was that for just a pet or was that with the intent of breeding?
With the intent in breeding and also just having a cool pet too.
But at
Yeah, I
that
just
point,
wanted
it
to
was
test
an
the waters.
investment.
What was that?
I said at that point, it was an investment. You were saying your first investment animal was what?
Was the Sunset? Yeah, I
The
bought a
sunsets.
1.2 of Sunsets. 1.1 was breeder, and then the other female was about 600 grams.
And do you still have those sunsets?
I still have the adult female. I actually have both adult females, still, but
Now, can you
I
find
didn't
those
have
or
too much
no?
luck with them, to be honest. They kept on reabsorbing, or I'd get eggs, and the eggs would mold in the incubator. Just it was not very,
Oh, really?
yeah, it was not a smooth process for me.
One of them was this dark female here, one of the original ones.
Yes, I still have her as well. So she's a
Oh,
big girl.
okay.
She's in one of these bags I have laying
Did she
around.
stay did she stay real dark like that, or did she lighten up?
She lightened up a little bit. She's kind of like a ghostly, like you'd almost think like GHI kind of thing going on, but just space sunset. Yeah, and then the other
Okay.
one is more of like a rusty orange.
And then, yeah, the male, I was able to get that photo as well. That was your original
Yeah,
male, or?
yeah. So he was on possible orange dream, and I'm pretty confident he ended up proving out. I unfortunately didn't really prove him out because I mean, like I said, I had a couple clutches and this didn't go well, so I ended up selling that male to a buddy of mine. And I'm pretty sure he proved out the OD on that.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at him, he does have a lot of nice coloration coming up. Like the OD kind of bubbles those whites underneath the alien heads. Like, but Sunset's such a powerful pattern. It's, without knowing for sure, it's a hard call. So proving it is definitely the way. Um, so what was your
Here,
first?
one moment. I need to take just a quick little pause. Sorry, I
Yeah,
apologize about this.
yeah, no worries. While he's doing that, we are gonna go ahead and put this on up there because we offer amazing discounts. Go over to Q Ball Morphs Morph Market or inquire directly and use code GEM20 to save off 20% off your entire order. And he's got some amazing projects like that neon, some whiskey, some really underworked newer things, as well as some really deeper projects that we all are excited for. So definitely go check that out. And then another discount code that you don't want to miss is Rice Reptiles. Big breeders in the industry, well known. 30% off your entire order. What? Limited time only. You only see it once a week right now. If you know, you know. Make sure you go and check out their Morph Market. Use code GEM30 in the notes section or when inquiring personally in a message. And this is the same with any of these codes. You use it in the notes or when inquiring to receive the discount. So make sure you guys are checking that out before this discount ends. And another amazing discount, we got Ectothermic Dungeon. If you guys are interested in projects like the Extremist, the Tri-Stripe, the Adder, the Bang, I mean, he's got incredible projects, and that's just a highlight of them. Make sure you guys go and use Dungeon 10 for 10% off your order as well in the notes section or when inquiring directly. So let's see what's everybody saying while we have a little pause here. And also another one. Another one. Save 65% off one additional label at Redline shipping using code selective65. Why is that code selective65, might you ask? Because Gem Exotics used to be Selective Creations, which is now going to be owned by Lucas, my son. So we are going to be vending at shows under Selective Creations because it will mostly be some pet grade animals or, and lower investment grade animals that are really pretty that he wants to produce and sell. And of course, they're going to be forward facing as far as genetics. So definitely look for us probably next year, maybe the end of this season even. But let's see what everybody is up to. Pappy's in the house. Appreciate you stopping by. Clayton had to go and take care of something. If anybody isn't aware, Clayton is actually in like the middle of moving into his new house. So he finally just bought his first house at 20 years old and he's getting things straightened out. So he had to go and take care of something real quick. Reduced pattern. I don't know. That was in response to something I can't remember now. Got Mills in here from the Reptile Pit. Make sure you go back and check out his episodes. And do what Dan Bala says. Alan and Tiffany say, hit that like button. Yeah, we got a little downtime right now, but I'm gonna show you some stuff here because we're gonna hit Clayton when he comes back with this. I'm gonna have to ask him about this because he had this animal for sale at one point. Corn snake. It was like the earliest snake I could find on his Instagram. So I'm gonna ask him about the corn snakes as well. But it seemed like when he was first getting in, he was kind of messing around with some like lemon blasts, had xanthic, and some yellow bellies. I pulled all these off of his Instagram so that we had a little bit of things to fill some dead air because I knew he would be busy here and there. But seems like he started off kind of like most people buying some pets that were really cool and really pretty. And then he got into that sunset project, like he said. And this was one of his first pairing cards. I know that. We're going to have to get him into it. Tell us the details exactly, but you can see there. See what happened. What up, Michael Blanca? Appreciate you coming out. That sunset male. Yeah, I'll show him off again here. That's the male. He was proven to be an Orange Dream sunset through breeding after Clayton got rid of him. So that's a little unfortunate, but he still has the females. Which this one is super interesting. Very dark for a sunset. But with the other one being Orange Dream, I don't know. I can't say I've seen many. I know adult sunsets darken out. Nikki, Irresistible Pythons. If y'all don't know, they have a show. Make sure you guys are checking them out on YouTube and subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Don't know where he went, but it's all right. We're gonna keep going through some of these layers because these are some of his earlier snakes. So we'll kind of progress through the where he's at now, which is kind of a big leap as well because I think this was a pastel lesser het exanthic. Um, so he was really into the exanthic stuff early on, and with the animals that he's producing lately, he's really taken that to another level. Whoa. Grim Reaper reptiles in the house. Appreciate you, Paul Clark. And if you guys don't know, if you guys are just joining, we do offer guest hosting opportunities. And all you have to do is comment hashtag seat taken, and I'll put you in the list. I know Pappy's is on the list. I know Proxima's on the list. Jambala's on the list. So we got a bunch of people waiting to co-host some future episodes. I appreciate everybody that reaches out, that's interested. And the list is decent, but it isn't too long. You won't be waiting 6 months. I'll tell you that. Might wait a couple months, but get on that list before it gets 6 months long. Limworm Exotics in the house. What's up? How you guys doing? Randall in the building. Big double L. Appreciate y'all. Let's get back to these layers. So one of his early clutches, and anybody joining, I'm filling a little bit of time here with some things that I had already pulled up and prepared because he had to run and do something with his move. So this clutch here is a very interesting clutch. It was like a banana exanthic clutch, I'm pretty sure, some pastel, and I can't say for sure that there was anything else. Yellow belly, pastel, orange dream. Oh, bamboo. That's where it looked exanthic. Couldn't remember. So that is probably one of his favorite early clutches. We'll have to definitely hit him with that when he comes back. But if you don't know Clayton very well yet, he is huge into the zebra project. And this is just one of his first animals. All right, you back?
Yeah, sorry about
All
that.
right. No, you're good, man. You're good. I just was kind of throwing some things at him that I pulled from like your Instagram and stuff, just kind of talking about what we were gonna go through when you got back. So, James B in the house, what's up? Dustin clowning around pythons. All right, so take me through this story here. How'd you end up in this situation?
Oh, so that was just when I was first getting into snakes and whatnot. At like I guess a larger scale. I was like, I want to get a bunch of different species. So I found this dude who was selling it was a whole I guess litter or clutch of corns. And I bought the whole thing, all 10 of them.
Okay.
Um and they came in these little delis. They had little like green, blue, red stickers on them to tell them apart. And they're just really cool. I still have two of them, and then the rest I just sold over the years. But they're really cool. I like them a lot. They're just traditional corn snakes, but they're fun.
Yeah, I think corn snakes are probably the snake outside of like garter snakes and little eastern decays, brown snakes and stuff that I would catch outside. Um, the corn snake was probably the one that got me going first because like my mom's neighbor had a couple in a tank, and one was like an albino, one was a snow, and I always used to want to go over there. Like I would buy a mouse from the pet shop just to go feed their snakes.
That's cool.
And then it transitioned to pythons and boas from the pet shops and other people actually owning them around town. But yeah, I think we all start off with a variety of species.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the lemon blast. That was het exanthic, correct?
No, that was just a straight lemon. I think that was a firefly. Yeah, it was a lemon blast.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a pet. Yeah, I thought she was really pretty. Her name was Darcy. Um, I don't think she was at Xanthic. It was a minute ago.
I
I know
forget.
I
I
sold
didn't
her
remember
before
if
I
it
could ever
said it.
produce with her, but she was really cool. I liked her a lot. She was one of my first pickups.
Hey, a lot of people out there tend to hate on some pinstripe, but pinstripe really grabs people's attention, and that's an example there, just buying pets, just buying snakes that you like, the visual effect of and the visual expression of. It's like pinstripe catches your eye, and that's just one of those things you can't deny. So this here looked like a pairing card. Was that like one of your first pairings?
Yeah, I think that actually was my first pairing. Yeah, that was that het pied I was talking about to the bamboo. And
Okay.
she laid a bunch of eggs, and they were all super good and healthy. They went through. It was a great time.
Was
I
that
think
this
I also
clutch?
posted up the egg cutting video later. Yeah, and I hit like 4 or 5 bamboos. I think it was my very first clutch ever. It was really fun. Yeah,
Yeah, that looks like a fun clutch. And with bamboo being like one of your favorite mutations that got you in, like that had to been Christmas morning.
it really was. And also, like, just because you can visually distinctively tell which ones are which, there was no guessing, And since it was only like, I think he was pastel and bamboo, I think is what he was. But it made it
Pastel, and
relatively
then
easy to
yeah, I
identify.
think it said OD.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, that thing, I mean, I remember my first clutch. It was just normals back in 2002, but like it was exciting. I was only 12 years old. So 13 years old. So it was just like my dream coming true, basically, even though it was just a clutch of normals.
no, it's just a really cool
So
experience.
yeah, and I had everybody that was against me at the time, like not against me, but nobody like believed in the industry. Like the industry wasn't developed yet back then. It was just like a handful of mutations and people throwing big money around. And my dad was like, "Nah, these guys are just crazy. That shit ain't gonna stick around." And here we are. I really enjoy the process of it all, and it's been amazing. But what was the project direction you initially took as far as where your mindset was? Were you in like linear project directions, or were you in like double project directions when you first started?
A lot of my stuff was definitely targeted so I could take it multiple directions if I wanted to. I revolved everything around clown. So my first initial investment into zebra was a zebra clown stuff. Same with sunset and just pretty much anything that I got, and that still stays true to now. Just because it's the foremost foundation of my entire collection. Makes things super versatile and really easy to work with. So
And then going off of that, when you first started pairing after your investment phase, were you shooting for trying to hit those kind of visual combos, or were you shooting more for like long-term stacking of hets and
long term
incomplete
for
dominance?
sure. I mean, I had a lot of chances to make like double visuals or like triple visuals the past couple years, but a lot of the
Mhm.
times I instead of taking that route, I just went for quads or pentaheads. And like I made quad head desert or hypo VPI zebra clowns back in like 24, and those girls are almost breeding for me now. And then recently, I just produced some like pentaheads for Des Ghost VPI Hypocryptic Zebra. So pair those back to that, and those long term steps are now paying off.
Heck
Um,
yeah. I was trying to get the zebra to pop up, so that's like the female, right? Yeah, that's the female
yeah.
het. And then this zebra 3, there it is. Was that your first visual?
Yeah, that was, and I purchased her from Don McQualls, my mentor and the person who blessed me with a line to purchase his collection. So
Yeah, that's an incredible example, and, it says super pastel, yeah,
yeah, they're just
and it's
phenomenal. I mean, Pastel does so much to the combos. People always are dogging on pastel and stuff, but you show them a zebra versus a pastel zebra versus a super. I mean, it's just night and day. The super is by far the best in my opinion, but like long term, I think even like zebra clown combos are even going to want at least a copy of pastel in there.
Okay. Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see, like, if the pastel goes to that, like, darker phase or if it stays bright and everything from the combo like that. And it's interesting in the zebras that the super pastel doesn't get to fade out the blacks in all the empty spaces, between the alien heads.
Mm.
Whereas typically super pastel really burns out those the black areas. Like you get the one right there on the dorsal, but that zebra keeps that contrast.
Even into adulthood, they stay really crisp like that.
So what is your favorite morph for pattern?
For pattern, hmm, I'd probably go with like redhead or something along those lines, or vanilla. I love vanilla. I think it's super underrated. Or super vanilla. That's the stuff right there. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that vanilla on its own is very underrated, especially for the contrast and also the pattern hold, like it contains the
Cool.
pattern almost to normalize it again. Like it likes to have the two alien eyes and the keyholes and stuff. And it depends though, because there's different vanillas out there, right? Because unless it was just mislabeled at some point and not tested and just called vanilla through someone's collection that looks more similar to fire. There's always been like a very big distinction between vanilla and fire from what
I
I've
see it
seen.
night and day, but everyone's like, they look
Yes.
the same. They look. I work with so much fire and
And
vanilla.
that's where I get confused. Like, did somebody, produce some fire vanilla stuff that they didn't know which was which and they just guessed and then it went out into the market years ago as vanilla, but really it'll test as fire or, because not many people are going for super vanilla combos. So we're not gonna ever see that prove as a vanilla or a fire through breeding. So
Mm.
I question some of these vanilla animals that are out there, but that's a side note. Um, besides that bamboo, pairing, what was another, like, first memorable pairing and any holdbacks that you may still have?
um, I mean, it wasn't necessarily at first, but to me it was really this, like, it was a stepping stone for me. It was felt like I was doing something really cool, unique at that point in time. It was the VPI clown head DG to a leopard HRA desert ghost double at VPI cryptic. I missed on the triple, but I was super blessed with all everything was double visual head, so that was
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Hit three DG VPI head clowns, and then a DG Krypton head VPI. And those animals,
Dang.
I still have the DG VPI head clown female and the DG Krypton. They're really neat. And at that point in time, it was just like, all right, I'm doing
Cryptic and
something.
Krypton are super, like, underrated. Like, I feel like they're underappreciated too, you know? Like, yeah, you can say that some of those combos outside of the neck and outside of, like, maybe a little bit of that first third of the body, like some black pastel krypton, cryptic stuff kinda gets still a little normalized, but I feel like it's so undervalued in the sense of the versatility that it has, but also, the potential. I just saw a ivory leopard Enchi Krypton, and it was the coolest ivory combo I'd ever seen before. So, and Krypton's very powerful. We know that, especially in its color tone. It's got a very tan color tone, but you seem to be working that as a staple in your projects. Would you say?
Yeah, it's I agree. It's super underrated, and so people recently have been producing some insane animals in the
For
project,
sure.
bringing some light to it, and it's cool to see this underrated gene that is floating around in pretty much everyone's collection finally get some love. I mean the hypo Crypte or whatever it was, the Krypton Pompeii that
Oh yeah.
Harmless Angels produced. That thing is insane.
Insane. Yeah. And
Uh,
that should be like how insane it is and how just like it revamps a whole combo we've seen, like, more than a handful of times, so I feel like it adds a value there that nobody's putting there, nobody's putting on those combos. You know, people almost devalue it because it's a krypton. And in some of these cases, it's like, why are we devaluing this with the versatility sometimes? And also the just what's being produced, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people also they see cryptic and they immediately align it with clown. When cryptic itself is a very versatile gene. I mean, it works well with puzzle, genetic stripe,
Yep.
clown, all the things. And so I think it's a good gateway, like even almost better than clown if you want to have a more diverse collection because you can put it
Yeah.
into your clowns and your puzzles, all that. So
And shout out to the breeders who are working pure cryptid directions because I have been noticing some noticeable differences between kryptons and cryptics from the same clutches of like Orange Dream kryptons and cryptics and Super OD kryptons and cryptics and things like that. So check that out. Look into it more for yourselves because I feel like there's some aspects that people are also overlooking about the cryptic itself. So it's harder to find pure cryptic stuff out there, but if you can and you can do a comparison to its krypton counterpart, definitely try to get that information. So, were there any setbacks or lessons that you learned throughout the processes?
Um, you got to be patient with these animals. If you rush them, you'll end up slugging them out or whatever. You don't want to breed them too soon. Um, yeah, it was a lot of trial and error before we finally got it locked down. So just being patient. I have for instance, my buddy Pokey. He's finally starting to produce, but he's had some girls reabsorb on him, and it's a big hit. And it comes with the game. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. We had a question there. What's your favorite genetic single gene to work with so far?
Single bean? I mean, I think the HRA is it's fun for me to ID because it takes a second. Like most things for me is like very just I can tell immediately. The HRA stuff I have to sit down and I have to go like, all right, what's going on here?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Is that one of the ones that you feel like you're gonna be testing for in some combos?
oh, for sure. I mean, everything I do I send in no matter what, but the HRA stuff, it's just so wonky. Yeah, you gotta sit down and try it for yourself.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I got that one girl from you, and it's like I look at her some days and I go, I don't know how you can tell if she's a cryptic or a het or a red exanthic or a het red. It's like, I get the comparisons in the clutch, but even with the sister that was red exanthic that you had, I'm like, I can see what you mean, but a little variability could even make that difference, you know? So it's like
Yeah,
somewhat hard to say, but they're just so cool. And I think it's really worth working the het red exanthic and like the Huffman stuff because
Hoffman's
we've
cool.
seen yeah, and we've seen a lot of these projects where those mutations, like black pastel and like those things from that complex bring the color in. But with like Huffman and HRA, you can kind of leave that color out and bring it in with other mutations like say super red stripe, super mandarin, and take it more towards that reddish tone than the orange stuff. And it's fun to play with in that sense. Everybody loves some cryptic. Well, start paying more and charging more for it. No, I'm just kidding. Were there any genetics that you end up moving away from?
Um, Spider. The White Walker project was all based around spider stuff, so now they're just look animals for now. Um, but I've wasted my time on too many bumblebees, so
Yeah,
I've
that's what
I've
it
stopped
was.
producing those.
Yeah, and that's just because you're really working some deep projects genetically, and I know I give advice to people that I'm close with when they're like, "Hey, should I get this animal in this really new high value project that has like a like an older mutation attached. I'll put it that way. And I go, it's not best to invest with an older mutation because it's going to hurt your value in your project. And overall, it's going to hurt the value of that mutation faster in the market. So, as a breeder, if you have a new mutation, I was like, don't even pair that with something that's going to hurt it right off the bat. Like, keep it away from that stuff and bring that stuff in later on when you just want to kind of see like the whole different side and flip a project over. Somebody says they got an HRA clutch in the incubator. Drop the pairing in the comments. We'll shout it out. Krypton to Krypton pairings can produce some of the most varied and beautiful clutches.
Yeah.
I agree. They're tricky at that point because you get the clowns, the cryptics, the Kryptons, and it's a big mess, I guess, if there isn't very much difference between the Kryptons and the cryptics. But shout out to shed testing. If you don't know, you can send in a piece of shed from your snakes and get it tested for all known genetics that are currently available. And the guys are constantly working hard to produce more tests. So make sure you guys are using phenome testing for all those questions. Get them answered. Here's that pairing. Nuclear HRA to OD KRG. So nuclear, that's fire, pastel, lesser, het red xanthic to orange dream calabash reduction gene. So that's going to be a really interesting
That's
pairing.
an
Good luck
interesting
with
one.
that. What's your favorite morph for contrast?
Uh, see, I mean, overall, I mean, calico is really neat in a lot of things.
Mm,
A lot of times people compare it to the scrambler stuff. I think scrambler does more color than calico
hmm
does pattern. Um, and so I mean, for contrast wise, I would think calico. It just is really neat. Um,
Yeah,
I'm excited to see a sunset hypo calico. There's a couple people that are pretty close to that. So,
I thought didn't Morph Jungle produce a hypo Sunset Calico?
oh, if you did, then I'm unaware.
I think that
That's
was
cool.
last year. I'd have to check if it was hypo though. I can't be positive, but I have pictures of it. It looked hypo, but it could have just been the combo. I can't remember
This
offhand.
you just reminded me of the spot nose calico sunset. Now that's a cool
Oh,
one.
that one is sick too. Yeah,
Ooh.
Calico Sunset stuff is my favorite in that project with the sunset. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that aged.
Me too. It looked like it would have aged very well. So we'll have to get him on another episode. So, was there an animal that anybody else produced that made you go, "Ooh, I need to change something up in my projects to incorporate this." And what was that animal?
Let's see. I mean, a lot of my hype around the Krypton and the hypo stuff all stem from Windy City. Just his consistent back to back hits with it. I mean, all of my hypo lineage comes from him. So
Hell yeah. Shout out to Juan. Honestly, I
shit.
can't even lie. After Juan produced the Orange Dream, Black Pastel, Cypress, Krypton, Hypo stuff that I really, really saw what the Krypton future was. It was right then and there. I was like, I'm definitely going to get into this and work it into my own directions. That was my inspiration. So shout out to Juan for producing those amazing animals. um, was there any was there anything that you saw another person produce that led to any of your big purchases?
Um, let's see. I mean, obviously ADC stuff. I saw some cool stuff in that project. I'm looking
Okay.
around now, but like 90% of my snakes are bagged up, so it
No,
doesn't
I
really help me
know.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I'm trying to think. I mean, I remember when my buddy Matt Yates produced the Wookiee Chocolate Hypo DG. Um, that really piqued my interest, and I eventually ended up just getting her essentially, and because we're working the split, and then I get a buyer, so I finagled my way in there. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, you got into some Wookiee stuff, and I have some
Yeah,
layovers
Wookiee was the start
here.
of that.
So this animal is amazing.
She's doing well. She's been a little bit of a finicky eater for me recently, but she's almost up to size. She's like 13. I mean, she is technically. She's like 1,300 grams with no follicles yet. So
And drop the genetics on us because I didn't get them pulled
that
over.
girl is black pastel red. Let me look her thing. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was black pastel, red stripe, spot nose clown, I think is what it was. Um,
Just a
Pretty
yellow
confident.
belly away
Yellow
from
belly, yeah, yellow
Pompeii.
belly was in there too. No red stripe. It was black
No
pastel,
red
spot
stripe.
nose,
Okay.
yellow belly clown. That's what it
That
was.
makes
Sorry.
sense. That makes sense
Yeah.
because the dorsal's not as spread open and it's not as blushed out. And then this other Wookiee animal, tell us about this one.
That one is
This
Wookie.
this is amazing.
She is insane. She is aged absolutely phenomenally. Both of those animals were produced by Fallen Angel Reptiles. That girl is a Wookiee GHI black pastel yellow belly clown. Um, she is so orange. It is insane. You would not have expected it as a baby. It's just a phenomenal animal.
And how big is she now?
She's like 16, 1,700 grams.
And has her color really held well, or did she
Oh,
darken up or
extremely. I
lighten
mean,
up?
she's gotten more vibrant orange.
Oh,
I don't
lightened
think
up in
she's out and
color.
about right now.
Yeah, y'all have to
Oh,
forgive Clayton.
actually,
He's moving. He don't know where his snakes are.
I know.
Most of them are in bags. We're just holding them up from his process, but we appreciate you
The
very
lighting's
much.
not the best in here right now. I have to install some lights, but
Here, I'll make it bigger. Oh, whoop, wrong one.
I
Oh yeah,
can't
you
really
can see
tell.
her
It's too
oranges
dark.
on her belly.
Yeah, she's
There you
super.
go.
It's
That's
like
some
a
good color
rusty
there.
red orange. She's super cool.
I like how it
She's a good
wraps
girl.
the belly. That's the one thing about the Wookiee combos with the black pastel is like it gets that color bleed that wraps right around to the belly. That's one feature that I like a lot. And then I think there was tell me about this animal. Um, I had it marked as hypo. There it is. So tell me more about this one here. Is that another Wookiee combo?
Yeah, so that was actually the Wookiee chocolate hypo DG from Matt Yates.
That's
Um,
the one that you bought that was same as the mom?
no, so that we're doing a split with her. He hasn't produced another one yet. What we're doing is after we get some eggs from her, I'm allowed to buy her. So essentially, right now, I'm raising her up, and then we'll do a split, and then I get her. So I'm
Yeah,
excited for it.
man. That snake is amazing.
Yeah.
Like truthfully one of the most beautiful Wookiee combos.
Oh, for sure. I mean, she's $1 million baby. That's why I put that audio on every single post of her. She's woo.
Yeah, that snake is incredible. Let's see. Wookiee Hypo Project on its own. Super excited to see more from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, David. That one right there. And
Yeah, the
then
Wookiee craze for me really started after, I mean, a little bit before Canova had posted his videos because I initially got into Wookiee from the Coral Glow phase of the Wookiee stuff that he was
like
producing.
the Kraken, think that was
Yeah,
2.0.
it was, yeah, exactly. It was the 2.0 stuff. It was like GHI, Coral Glow, OD, or not OD, but
Yeah.
Black Pastel clown stuff. It was super cool. I ended up getting a Wookiee Coral Glow Black Pastel clown, and he's breeding right now. He's going to a GHI clown, or a GHI Mojave clown, and some other stuff.
It's crazy that they still haven't reproduced the Kraken 1.0 yet,
I know. I
you
feel like
know?
there's
And
something
it's
going on with
like
it. It was a really cool animal.
the thing that got me is I always thought it was a GHI Mojave combo. I always thought it had Mojave with that color palette. And when he put the video out with the genetics, it didn't say that Mojave was in that animal, and it to me it didn't make sense without the Mojave. So
I
I
wouldn't
don't
be
know.
surprised.
I don't know why they can't hit it again, but it's gonna be interesting to see it made again, and maybe there was like a hitchhiker in that pairing that just was unidentified, and it wasn't Mojave, and just something else that was graying it out, with the GHI. So very interesting. I that was honestly one of my favorite Kraken animals. The first one, even though I thought it had Mojave, I was like, I love that. But so did it result in you working morphs from one project into another after you were starting to get more advanced into your plans?
Sorry, you're glitching out a little bit on my end. I heard most of it. It was just what was
So
the base of it?
were you at that point starting to think about combining projects?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's been my intent from the very start. Was to that's why I based it around all clown, was so I could combine them and do things along that sort. The Sunset project not taking off for me as fast as I was hoping. Definitely, it's put a dent in that. Um, but with a lot of my other projects, I've been able to successfully do that. We're working on getting. I just acquired a monsoon head clown. Man, I say just. It's been like 7 months, but
Okay.
uh, I got that from Bob, and he's breeding now. He's like 1,300 rams, and he finally decided to do something.
So that
But
yeah, that's a while. What are you breeding that to?
oh, he's going to a bunch of stuff. A VPI clown head DG, spot nose GHI special clown, a bunch of stuff. So
Heck yeah. So like what would be your ultimate combination of, recessives and say a few incomplete dominants with that monsoon project?
with the monsoon specifically, I mean, I've been a sucker for ADC monsoon stuff before it was, I mean, even like a thought process for a lot of
Yeah.
people, but
And we saw the
ADC.
ingredients finally.
Exactly. I mean, the DG clown or the DG monsoon clown was phenomenal, and then the
Yeah.
monsoon, they showcased it here, right?
Yep, yep, yep. And
Yeah,
our Mandarin
exactly.
episode. So go back and check it if you missed that episode. That was the world first reveal of the Exanthic Monsoon and the Exanthic DG Monsoon with Justin.
Yeah,
Definitely a
that stuff is
crazy
just it's
episode.
inspirational.
He
It really is.
Yeah, for real. He fooled me with the first one he pulled out because it really, really resembled like a sunset clown color base. And then when he said it was a super red striped clown, I was like, okay, that makes sense. But it was like, whoa, that one could fool anybody because of how beautiful it was. But it was just so red and orange, kind of like that sunset clown would be. Really threw me off. But now seeing that combo, it's like super red stripe, hurricane, Enchi cypress in a sunset clown. That's gonna be next level.
Uh, like I wasn't like too crazy on the Enchi and Sunset, but I do think it'll be pretty cool on Enchi Sunset Clown, like with Hurricane and stuff, something to help break up the pattern a little bit after the Enchi
Yeah.
condenses it.
And like
I think it'd be
Enchi
neat.
in the sunset is one of those mutations where it's like it's not the most appealing, it's not the most creative. It doesn't give you the most creativity when you see, like, the Enchi sunset stuff, but it's one of those mutations that, like, when you get a really nice combo, you throw it in and it can flip it on its head and just really show you something nice.
And I mean, the Enchi Pompeii stuff is pretty neat. It just how much it like differentiates the actual pattern, like you were saying. It really flips it on its head.
Besides the Krypton, and I think I can't remember which other one we said, but, do you think there's anything else that you work with? The HRA was the other one. Do you think there's anything else that you work with that is underrated?
Um, Let me think. I mean, Scrambler's getting there. I wouldn't really necessarily say it's super underrated anymore. A lot of people know about it now. Um,
Yeah, I think there's more believers in it at this point. We're seeing a lot more outside of, like, the Orange Dream Calico stuff as well.
mm, Let me think. Not like wait. So it was underrated. Underrated. I
Yeah.
mean, Zebra's still pretty underrated in my opinion. I don't think a lot of people are doing like it enough justice.
Yeah, I
You know, the
agree.
hurricane zebra, yellow belly zebra, they're all doing a lot by themselves, and then you get them together like Justin has, and they're pretty
Like that
cool.
right there.
Yellow belly zebra, yeah, that's a
That's
really neat
yours.
animal. I mean, she has orange flaming coming from like the tip of her tail. You would think that she's a lot more than just that. It's a really crazy base to go off of. I mean, you had pastel in there too. I think it'd be a lot better, honestly. But
Heck yeah.
I have hurricane, coyote, yellow belly, zebra hypo combos in the incubator right now. So hopefully we can start expanding
What?
on that. Yeah.
I'll come back to that comment in a second, Proxima. Say that again.
So I have a couple zebra clutches in the incubator right now. I have a clutch for super coyote, yellow belly, zebra hypos, and then I have another clutch for
Wow.
hurricane, technically hurricane acid, yellow belly, coyote, zebra hypos. Um, and then there's Enchi in the
What?
mix, but I'm really hoping to kind of miss on the Enchi in that one. Um,
Yeah, I could see why, but even if you didn't miss on it with the acid, if you hit the acid in the hurricane with the Enchi, it's like, who cares? It's
yeah.
probably gonna be good, yeah.
Amazing. It really will be. I'm hoping for more high OD combos because I had a lot of high OD potentials for his visual high OD zebras last season, and we
Okay,
missed on all of them. So it's a little
question
bit of a
for
bummer.
you. As
What was it?
someone who believes in Scrambler and as someone who has the controversial high OD, what, do you feel is the difference between them?
So high OD is a much like deeper orange. I mean, it's very distinguishable compared to Scrambler. You put it next to Scrambler. Scrambler's more of like a faded, like not like faded in terms like it's the colors going away. It's more just like a gradient, while the
Mhm.
high OD is more just deep. The scrambler also adds a bit more pattern than a high OD does. I mean, high OD it just kind of enhances the natural pattern that's already in a normal. While the scrambler lifts up the sides, it does the smearing, things along those sort. It's definitely an orange tone, but it's lighter than high OD for sure.
So in your high OD animals, you're not seeing, like, that lift and that drag
No.
that you're seeing in the scrambler stuff.
Not at all, no. And
Gotcha.
our IOD lines are completely separated from the scrambler. There's no ancestral history that would combine them or anything
Where
along
would your
those
high
lines. So,
OD originate from?
a couple different people. We did buy some from Chris. A lot of I'm not entirely sure exactly their names because I went over it with Don like a year and a half ago. But Don made sure to get stuff that was differentiated because he was worried that everything was the same gene. So.
Gotcha, okay. That's smart too, because then if you do end up with something that was like, "Oh, well, it kinda got mixed up just by naming it," then you do got a couple varieties to play with to see, like, if you end up with something that's
Mhm.
different, so that's cool. I like that coming from somebody that has both, you see the differences because there's talk going around where a lot of people feel like high OD could be scrambler OD. And it's it's a great reservation. It's a great thought just to have, just to filter out. But, you know, coming from someone like you that has them both in the collection together, that's great information. So
One other
Proximus.
thing too, just because I see someone putting some love on zebra. If you could
Oh
pop up
yeah.
the picture of the zebra hypo head clown, that's probably my most visually stunning zebra that I've produced.
Um, I don't know if I have that one.
It's
No,
posted up on my Instagram by chance.
yeah, I would have to go out and like grab it.
Oh, no worries at all then.
Yeah, I uploaded a bunch of stuff I was able to just grab last minute since I knew that we won't be showing too many snakes or anything.
Yeah, well, I
um,
appreciate that. Thank you. It does sound worth
yeah,
it.
I did get this animal though. So tell us about this.
Oh, she's a really cool one. Visually, that's probably my most eye-pleasing snake. You know, she's definitely some good eye candy right there. So she's a
Yeah.
banana calico, orange dream scrambler, and she clown. And you can put her next to any kind of Enchi, Calico, Orange Dream, Banana Clown. I also have one without banana as well, same combo, and you can really see how the genes start stacking. The Enchi with, or the, I'm sorry, the Calico with the Scrambler, it really does make a difference compared to just a base calico and G clown combo. Um,
Yeah,
you see a lot more
that
exaggerated.
scrambler is really lifting everything up towards that
Exactly.
tail.
Yeah,
Cause
and
like,
then also what's really cool about her was when she was a baby, all those white stripes going down her door, like the base of like the tip of her,
yeah,
they used to be pink, and as she's aged, they've become a really crisp white. So now she has like this spiderweb effect going down her body. It's really cool.
that is cool because, calico usually doesn't create any kind of whites in the clown. And the scrambler and the combo that you're having here must be bringing those whites out because even in like a non-banana animal, those whites start off pink and then they eventually turn white after they get, a few 300-400 grams on them. Then those scales turn white. So it's interesting that they started off pink even in the banana combo and then went white. And that's a very contrasting stark white as well. So zebra right here showing some love. Let's go. I agree. Underrated, and we need more folks working it. I just posted up a picture of my pastel lace het zebra that I'm gonna be breeding. I'm gonna be getting him into some. I'm going into some monsoon directions with him. Very excited about getting some zebra monsoon stuff going on, taking that vertical pattern into it, and trying to get some labyrinthy, vertical, stripy wackiness going on. Who knows what's gonna happen there, right?
Yeah, no, that's something that that I'm going to be playing with this season as well. I have one pairing going on,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm excited to see that
And
outcome as
someone said,
well.
Krypton Monsoon DG. I was Proxima earlier. I really, really think that Krypton is going to do a lot of heavy lifting in the Monsoon project. And mark my words, I said it now.
Yeah,
More heavy
we
lifting than the
might just
clown
have
did.
a clutch of spot nose Krypton triplet hypo DG monsoons about to be laid. So
Nice, nice. I have to think about if that fits my direction and hit you up. So, what is your most anticipated pairing going into this season?
most anticipated. Finally hitting an ADC. Like I've had a lot of chances to. So
What are your best
essentially
odds
like
genetically?
uh like a 1 in 4, I think is what it was.
Nice.
Or like I think 1 in 8. I have a couple different clutches going on. I have the VPI clown het DG, going to leopard HRA DG VPI het clown. So pretty good odds there. And then
Yeah,
I
a one in
have that
four,
male
and
going to
then
spot nose triple het, a couple other females. But yeah, gonna finally shoot for it.
was
I
a
had
one in
enough
four,
long odds
no, one
the
in eight.
last season for all the quads and pentas. I want to see some visuals.
Yeah, yeah. So 1 and 8 on that one pairing, but with the other incomplete dominance in there, it always makes it interesting. What is the mashup of allelic mutations that you like the most?
um, of allelic, I mean
Yeah,
bongo. Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, ooh, chocolate Wookie stuff. I mean that's
chocolate
definitely the
Wookie.
coolest stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say bongo stuff, but I mean, I feel like it gets neutered so fast. Like it just gets drowned out,
I
or
think
spot
that
nose Wookie
bongo
stuff.
stuff can start looking like other combos in
Hmm.
certain projects. Like some of the redhead stuff looks like some of the bongo stuff, but the bongo brings a completely different color palette, and that's what sets it apart, the coppers and the contrast. And I really love the bongo stuff. But when you get the het clown into just the single gene bongo, it like silvers out all the alien heads. And I don't think we have that episode anymore, the bongo episode. I'll have to see if it's one of the archive episodes that I'll be releasing again. But if not, we'll have to cover that one again because that was a lot of gems covered in that one. And the silvering in the alien heads with the het clown and also the thinning of the dorsal stripe with the het clown were two really key features that were consistent in the bongo. So just a little note if it is lost. What is your dream combo that you feel is within reach, including incomplete dominance?
A leopard spot nose hypo Dejghost BPI zebra krypton. I'm very close. If I'm
Leopard
lucky, I can get
VPI.
all of that except for the DG, like the visual. I can hit a head this season. That would be
Okay.
insane. Um, I have another clutch. She's about to lay triple head hypo VPI zebra to a triple head VPI zebra DG. So hoping that like if I can strike
VPI
gold there
zebra
with a
double
male
hits.
VPI zebra double head DG hypo,
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd
that'll
be a
really help.
banger. Heck yeah, those are some exciting pairings. I love the Zebra project. It's one that I'm definitely weaker in as far as depth, but that's why I got the male because I'm planning on taking it outside of a linear direction and really getting kind of crazy with it because zebra lends itself to that kind of palette like of craziness, you know? It's kind of it gives you so much pattern to work with that you can just be as crazy as you want.
Yeah. I'm excited. That male is really cool. The lace is doing a lot in the project. That's something I was kind of slacking with. I have a pairing going on to get some lace into my zebra stuff, but I was definitely slacking on that for a second.
Well, hopefully I'll make something that you might want.
Yeah, you never know.
Hopefully, I mean, that's what I hope when I make pairings. I hope I make stuff that I want, and then I hope I'm making stuff that the market also is in demand and hasn't seen, you know? And that's kind of a goal when I'm making pairings is like I haven't seen any of these things available. I gotta make them myself. And that's also what sets you apart in your path and your goals and your projects. You end up meeting a few breeders. Typically, you meet a handful of breeders in like those niche directions that are still chasing a similar path, but that's where you find collaboration. And they always say competition's at the bottom and collaboration's at the top. So collaborate more with people in this industry and grow. And that's all I can say is, you know, competition isn't going to get us nowhere. And we're all here just to make cool stuff.
Exactly.
So, where do you see your collection in 2 seasons as far as I mean, I don't wanna be specific too much, but, like, give you a little lead, I guess, but, like, where do you see yourself in 2 years as far as, um, projects? Like, do you think that you're gonna be, um 2 years is pretty easy to project, I think.
Um, let's see. I mean, definitely. Hopefully, I have some kind of better base, like with some visual VPI head zebras at that point. Because right now everything's just head. So hopefully, we got some double visuals along those lines there.
Heck yeah.
Um, moving the ADC stuff from double heads to double heads to triples to like a
Getting them
double head that's in
visuals.
a different project. I mean, like with my ADC stuff, I have the VPI genetic stripe double head DG clown male that I produced last season. And I have him once he's up to size going to black pastel hypo DG or I'm sorry hypo clown double head DG genetic stripe.
Okay.
So hopefully I can hit like a DG genetic stripe. Um,
DGG stripe clown double hypoxanthic then after
uh,
testing, right?
yeah, I think is what it was. Triple head, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, so we're just trying to combine all the projects. I really want to see some more Kiki Krypton stuff too in the next year.
Mhm.
That's another big thing. I mean, shout out to Ozark Mountain Morphs for producing some of that stuff. I mean, who that's an actually speaking of inspirational
Yes.
animals that made me be like, oh wait, I gotta start doing something there. That genetic stripe Krypton cryptic stuff that he's working out of this world. It's so cool.
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
that animal, he showed off on the one episode, and I don't remember if it was here on this show or another show, but it was the first time I saw his DGG stripe Krypton. I think it was like red stripe, yellow belly,
Yeah.
Orange Dream Ranchi. I forget all the mutations, but that animal was like, okay, I really see the direction with the Krypton G stripe stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
definitely an inspirational animal there and project direction. Um, I'm really excited to work that as well. I'm working some things like DGG stripe, Monarch. Krypton, and I'm also working some directions and incorporating the Exanthic into all that as well. So I'm excited to work some Monarch Exanthic stuff too, honestly. I don't know if anybody out there has any vision for that direction, but it's going to be interesting when we get some of this weird color going on in the Exanthic projects.
I think someone produced some Monarch Exanthic. I remember I was on a TikTok live and I was like, "Oh, Monarch Exanthic would be interesting to see," and they're like, "Oh, here's one," and I was like, "Oh, yeah,
Tommy at
okay."
Inky Clouds had one that she believed was an Exanthic. She was getting tested, and I think it came back het Exanthic, but it still
Oh,
had a
okay.
really weird look to it, like almost like a visual something, you know? So I may be wrong. Maybe it tested Exanthic, but that's just what I remember seeing in the group chat. But that was the only place that I saw, at least to my knowledge, a possible Exanthic monarch. Very, very interesting project. If you look at the Exanthic banana stuff, the Exanthic ultramel stuff, it really lends itself to bringing some color into that Exanthic. And of course, a lot of people work the Exanthic for the black and white, but I think that like with this lavender color palette, we can get some of the coolest looking like translucent patterns that we could ever see with some of the colors that we can influence, like more lavender and reds than anything, and the more pinkish tones.
I was gonna say, I think the Ultramel Exanthics are the key to pink snakes.
Right? I'm telling you, man, like Monarch Exanthic and like I don't know. It's just we have to see it and we have to see it to know how we can manipulate it. And until we know how we can manipulate it, we don't really know what it can do. And I feel like that's why there's some people out there now that are even going for like the double Exanthic and the double tri-stripe projects and stuff like that to see if those mutations can stack because they're different mutations and create a higher expression.
That'd be interesting to see, like a TSK VPI. That'd be yeah. Huh. I
Yeah,
haven't
and
even
then
thought
they
about that
have
really.
like Wayne at Cue Ball and another breeder are working to produce the KMR tri-stripe and that TSK tri-stripe double visuals. So will it be 5, 6 lines? Will it just be a really clean 3 line, solid 3 line animal? Like will they stack up and just make it more consistent? Who knows what's gonna happen, but it's fun that we're at that point where values of projects are kind of come down like in that sense and people aren't as afraid to play around with their investments, you know.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot more new unique animals because of it.
For sure, and I think that's where it is it's coming down to the prices aren't really astronomical, so in the beginning, no one was gonna breed this very high dollar snake to itself to see if they could produce a super where they could breed it to a 3 gene animal and produce a bunch of single gene combos at the time, and it always takes coming back around in those projects to kind of play around with these untapped earlier directions that you would think that somebody would have messed with, but it's just not worth the value at the time to risk it.
That's
Trying
interesting,
so
man. Sunset VPI pad, yeah.
yeah, I had to pull that up. Sunset, VPI, Pied, and Clown also in the mix too. So I have a feeling that like the Sunset Clown with the VPI stuff is going to be very interesting for sure. Because the clown's going to cause
I'm
it to
excited.
darken as it ages.
What was that?
I said the clown's most likely going to interact with like the sunset to darken as it ages, and it's probably going to create more like a dark phase exanthic sunset clown as those animals age. And it's probably going to be more consistent because of how those animals kind of darken.
Yeah, that's something that I'm curious to see as well. I have a parent going for some sunset exanthic like DG stuff, but I think that I'm debating whether or not Krypton or Clown would honestly affect better in it because I don't think the Krypton sunset had much of like the alien head effect. It just kind of looked like a sunset that was a little enhanced. What I remember of it at the very least. Um,
I have to see that one again, honestly, myself. Krypton Sunset, you said?
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
have to
think
see that one
Brad
again.
Boas produced it. I think I
I
might be
know I
wrong there.
saw it briefly, but I can't say I remember it very well. So make sure you guys are going back and checking out that animal too, because if I didn't see it, I'm always looking around online. I'm sure many of you didn't see it. So Krypton Sunset, Brad Boa Reptiles. Definitely putting that in the notes. Um, we're getting down to the end of this one here. What's your favorite morph for pattern reduction?
Pattern reduction. I mean, I guess. I mean, just because it's in my collection so much. I mean, and it's pretty versatile when you mix it in with the clown stuff. It makes some pretty neat combos. And then with the zebra, I mean, people would think that Enchi zebras wouldn't look the best, but I mean, they're better than most of any zebras I've ever produced. They keep really nice contrast and they're super clean into adulthood. It gets rid of all freckling, creates the pattern, like the consistency of color is just 100% throughout the entire animal. There's no fading or anything along that sort.
I agree. Yeah. Now, is there a morph that you wish you got into sooner?
Blackhead, yeah, I'm
Blackhead.
definitely
Okay.
slacking on blackhead stuff. I have a female for it, but we'll see if she goes for me. I might have some more.
They were talking in the in the comments about add some reds, and I have to show off this handful. And I know some people have seen it, but this handful is just amazing. Go ahead and break it
Yeah.
down.
So that's two different combos over here. Where the stranger stuff with the scrambler, it creates the super orange. That's the animal on the left as well. It's a stranger scrambler, calico fader, OD, black pastel. Absolute
Wow.
mouthful. But it's the way the genes interact with each other, and she's getting more vibrant as she ages, which is so I wasn't expecting that. I thought she'd kind of like brown out a little bit, but she's getting super orange.
Hmm.
And that's stayed consistent with all of the Stranger Scrambler combos we produce. They're almost like Halloween snakes. And then the animal on the right is the snow bengal, which is a world's first that we are very fortunate to produce over here. And that's a leopard spot nose HRA pastel Desiros BPI cryptic. A lot of people were
Wow.
just looking at the Xanthic DG angle with the Krypton or the clown. But I mean, we were just blessed to have so much cryptic prove out in our collection that we are like, what, screw it, we're gonna set some clutches aside and shoot for that. And actually, the
Yeah.
previous season, Don produced a triple and didn't even really know it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's breeding for us, and he produced a super spot as well. So it's crazy.
Nice. That's good for breeding. A lot of people obviously try to miss on the super spot nose for good reason, but if you do hit one, they can make amazing breeders.
They can.
So tell us about this animal here. This is amazing. I had to at least make a note on it.
Yeah, so that's a pickup from Windy City Juan. I mean, that's his name's Havoc, and you can tell why. I mean, his pattern's just all over the place. Like I said, we were slacking on that hypo stuff, so I saw this Black Pastel Cypress Hypo Clown, and I was like, all right, we need this in the collection. This is gonna get us, balling over here.
Yeah,
Just to
that
say
thing is an
to say the least.
amazing pickup.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him in like some Xanthic DG combos. It'll be really neat to see.
And then, are you still big into the Dreamsicle project?
No, I sold out of all my lavender stuff. I that was
Oh,
probably
okay.
like a year and a half ago or so. Yeah,
So that
those
would be
were
a
really cool.
project that I was gonna ask you like later on in the episode if there was another mutation you ended up getting out of it all, but I guess this kind of covers that.
Yeah,
But
I
those
don't see
combos
anything
are really
wrong with them. It was
nice.
just my collection was getting to the point where I was working a bunch of different projects, and I was like, all right, we need to start limiting some stuff. I don't have infinite space, so.
Yeah. And well, how did you make that choice?
Just visually, I figured I'm already working the scrambler stuff. Lavenders and pies just never were really my favorite, so it was just kind of like easy pickings for me.
Where your
I
heart
was like,
was, yeah.
yeah,
I feel you. So the last question here, and it's a tough one. What advice would you give your younger self starting out?
Don't spend all my money at once. Like I saw Will Moreau from RCR say that,
Yeah, he
and
did. He had
that
a great
really
segment
that
there.
ringed with me. I was like, damn, if I had done that, I would things would have been planned out a little bit better. You know, obviously, I everything happens for a reason, but now I know not to just go all in. Though there will always be snakes. People are always producing. You know, so you don't need to
For
buy
sure.
everything the best of the best at the moment.
And I will summarize, but you definitely have to go back and check out the Leviathan, I think it Leviathan channel, right?
Yeah.
That they post that on. Yeah, check out that video on the Leviathan channel. But in summary, basically what he was saying was don't spend all of your investment in the first year because those animals you're buying, if you're buying hatchlings most of the time, because you're trying to get the most progressive animals and directions, you are going to leave yourself empty for many years after that, raising those animals up when the industry is still progressing in those holding years while you're just in limbo waiting. And the next year and the year after that, there's going to be animals coming available that you're going to want to invest in. But if you already spent that initial investment, you aren't going to have that money and that capital. So basically, he was saying, be smart, invest in your directions, but save some of that investment for those following 2 years so that you don't find yourself at a holding point.
Mhm.
And that was a great, great advice. So, and I think a lot of us are guilty of that. Like, even when I got into investing this time around, and this is like my actual investment phase, I I didn't come around like I'm gonna invest. I came around like, I haven't had a snake in a few years. I'm just gonna go buy a pet. And then that just blossomed into I can't just have one and I can't just have a pet. I need to breed and I need to just like go after everything that's up here in this head of mine because it's unlimited and I just can't help it. But give us your closing thoughts.
Well, this was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I enjoy sponsoring your show, man. You spread great awareness and great information. And yeah, thank you guys for having me. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but I got a lot more moving to do for tonight. A lot of snakes need to be put in tubs. So yeah, you know how it is. The snake grind never stops.
Hell yeah. Never stops anywhere. The grind stops, it starts, keeps going. And honestly, even when there's a little lull, that's just a break because it picks right back up. Don't think that this
Ain't you?
industry isn't going to do the same because it is. And all it's going to take is us producing beautiful animals. And honestly, we are on the cusp of hundreds to thousands of amazing new combinations and we are just getting started again. So make sure you guys check out this episode. If you joined us late, hit that hashtag replay gang, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy this outro. We will see you next week.
Peace out.
Reptile mutations are my occupation. Ball python morphs my concentration. Break down the genes and their complications. Don't overthink it. Let's start with the basics. Let's go. Head stamp designers, pattern magnifiers, contrast killers and color amplifiers. It's all in the blushing. As it grows, it gets brighter. If you don't know what I'm saying, then tune in for knowledge. Genetic canvas, genetic canvas. Is it recessive, incomplete, dominant? That's a no-brainer. Read the parent like a puzzle, every clutch another list. stamp designers, pattern magnifiers, contrast killers, and color amplifiers.